As the show closes in on Angel Batista, there was one thing that would have given him a chance and his credibility.
He's not our captain. I mean, he was our captain, but he retired. He up and quit out of nowhere. It was crazy.
In this video, we're going to find out if Joey Quinn really knows that Dexter is the Bay Harbour Butcher and talk about what's going to happen next. Of course, press the like button on the video, it does help me out, and subscribe with the notification bell set to all so you never miss a video from me. We're nearing the end of the first season of this show, so keep up to date. Also, rest in peace, Dexter Original Sin. It was just cancelled after literally only just being renewed for a season 2. I'm hoping one day it can come back, but hopefully there's flashback scenes in Resurrection. They can still have those actors do stuff for it, maybe even majority flashback episodes. Some people have said, what would they even do in season 2? Well, it was more with what went on between Brian and Harry. There was a space for suspicion of maybe Harry didn't take himself out and Brian did it, because we saw season 1 ended with Brian watching them, saying that he didn't just go straight to being in hiding away from Dexter for years until the main show, but he did actually come back when he was younger. And unless Dexter talks about it, or we get these flashback scenes or episodes, we won't know what happened with characters like Tanya or Bobby. Tanya was, well, I think even more interesting now, because all she did in the show was Disney XD show lines and then walked off. Maybe there was more to her, maybe she dies, maybe she becomes a killer. It was weird, maybe that's mentioned again. And I quite like the actors, you know, that was a reason to watch the show. I really liked Patrick Gibson as that younger Dexter, I think it worked. I've always wanted there to be a scene at the very end of Dexter's story of him looking back at each incarnation of Harry and Deb, which is a bit Star Wars, but I'd love that. So although season 2 won't happen at least for a while, I think they can be in it again in some way in flashback scenes and episodes. But what do you think about that show ending? Anyway, does Quinn know that Dexter is the Bay Harbour Butcher? Well, in the original show, there was a time where Quinn was always onto him. He always knew there was something more to him.
What are you hiding, Dexter?
And he never really stopped knowing that about Dexter, but he stopped teasing him about it. It was literally just after he had killed Stan Liddy, after Quinn had originally hired him to privately investigate Dexter, but as he got closer to Deb, he told him to stop.
Stay the fuck!
He persisted, leading to him capturing Dexter, and then Dexter killing Liddy. Quinn wasn't just shocked that Stan was dead, he was shocked because he knew it was Dexter. Quinn had blood on his shoe from when he went to meet with Liddy earlier, without knowing that Dexter had just killed him. When it was being investigated, Dexter said it wasn't Liddy's blood, and from there, he held back. But this is a big thing that's easy to forget. Quinn knows Dexter killed Liddy, and he saw him kill Saxon, and held back about him doing that twice.
It's obviously self-defense.
But I think the biggest indicator that he knows he's the Bay Harbour Butcher is when he mentioned the gloves after already being suspicious about him keeping his apartment, even after marrying and living with Rita. But why did they have Quinn still stick around if he knew, if he had pursued Dexter so much in the past? The writers killed Oakes when he found evidence, so what's the difference? Why didn't he pursue it? Imagine the promotion he would get. Well, I think he was doing it for Deborah, and if he still doesn't want Dexter to be locked up in Resurrection, I think it's also still for Deborah, because of what happened to her. Also, Quinn is no stranger to being dirty on the job. Yeah, you could say he might blame Dexter. The black and white assumption we can make is that he would be angry at him for taking her out of that hospital bed, but he was there when it was being explained, and I think deep down he knew that it wasn't going to go too well with her.
Is she going to recover?
It's possible that she could breathe on her own, but she won't be able to eat without a feeding tube, and according to the brain...
And I think it's their sort of Dexter writing to have Quinn be thankful for Dexter for not leaving her on that bed. So he's doing it for Deborah and also maybe a bit scared. I did this short recently showing the New York Ripper's voice, along with 3 of the most popular suspects that we've already seen in the show. Not the most likely, you know, the most popular. So Jonah, Sam, and Prater. And a surprising amount of people said it sounded like Quinn. And that's obviously silly. You might as well say it's Batista. It sounds nothing like Quinn, apart from the bass of the voice is actually similar when you listen to it. If you listen for Quinn.
She thought she could run. She didn't have anywhere to go in that little house of hers. All she could do was cower in her own bed. Your sweet little sister, hiding under that flimsy quilt. Bet that was a gift from Grandma. That's why I took it off her before I ripped her open. Man, you should have heard your sister begging me to just kill her.
Of course, as this person on the call is doing anyway, it'll be him putting on this more menacing voice. Judging from his accent and mannerisms, Quinn is likely from New York, so was from there and then went to Miami. So if Quinn was the Ripper, another reason he wouldn't have pursued Dexter after finding out he's killed is because he's killed. Quinn got upset about an incident with another cop.
That's not half as bad as being responsible for another cop dying.
You don't know what the fuck?
They died because of him. Could it have been on purpose? But of course, let me know what you think about that. It's silly, but Dexter isn't afraid of silly. They master it, and they make it good. Episode 9 is called Touched by an Angel. It really isn't looking good for Angel Batista. He's lost all leads. Claudette is completely unreceptive to him now. But if you remember with Dokes...
It's good to see you, Leonis.
Little Deeks.
It's when characters get completely outdone and running out of options that they actually find what they need. It looks really likely that he does kill Prater. I find Prater really interesting, so I hope not. You have to remember as well, what makes Prater so interesting is his admiration and respect for these killers. The Dark Passenger is nothing compared to the Bay Harbour Butcher. This scene looks like it's in a similar setting.
The Dark Passenger is mine.
I want him to be talking about Dexter's Dark Passenger rather than him just still thinking he's red. But how cool would it be if Dexter tells Prater his code and Prater asks Dexter to kill Charlie after revealing how she fits it? This show has been so special and different, yet still retaining all the classic Dexter that made the show so good. But what a way to subvert expectations if it doesn't end with Dexter just taking out the villain of the season, sailing off happily. I really want them to do it a bit different. Of course, this could also be him killing Batista, but look at this demented look on his face. He's not struggling like we've seen Dexter would with taking him out. He's enjoying whoever or whatever this is. I said in a recent video how the New York Ripper's case had been eerily kept in the background, and it's someone that's done all this horrible stuff and never been caught. The Ripper is likely an upcoming main antagonist, but we've seen Dexter was unbothered when he heard the recording. He was more concerned with correcting Claudette in his inner monologue than saying he has to get this guy. This wasn't someone he was worried about, so how do they get Dexter to go after this extremely elusive Ripper in a future season? Have him kill Batista. I've said this before, yeah, him dying fixes all his problems, but don't forget, he doesn't want to have to kill him. Out of all the people that have fallen trying to expose him, this one would have really hit home to him. Obviously, Dexter was putting on an act to be normal when they were friends, but to Angel, he was his best friend. And Dexter said before, he's the best, more pure guy in all of the shows. If he dies, he's not gonna like whoever takes him out. They'd fit the code and they would have taken out a good guy who was only there in New York to avenge his friends. It's a really good way to have him really go after the Ripper when we've previously seen him not put much energy into thinking about him. He's been too wound up in Prater's gathering. With that being said, that's not the only fate Batista could have. He just needs to be put out of Dexter's way. We saw Dexter successfully denounce him in front of Claudette, that he's some washed up cop that couldn't let go and pushed everyone away after LaGuerta. Then when he calls Claudette, he's clearly just made himself look crazy.
He was scared of the Bay Harbour Butcher.
And they've basically turned against him. And like we've said, what could have saved him is Quinn, but he said he retired out of the blue and it was crazy. He's chasing something he can't let go of. I think it's really possible he's either framed or lawfully restricted out of Dexter's way, such as a restraining order, or actually being framed as the Bay Harbour Butcher, which I think is a bit silly because if he was the Bay Harbour Butcher, it would be a case of him having already successfully framed Dokes, but he's trying to do it to someone else now. I don't think the NYPD would see it like that. Either way, he's going to keep pursuing it and go further and further and likely go too far. And how could a former detective look even more crazy? If he did it very publicly where the police are all gathered at the gala. In my latest video, I said he's going down a really similar road to Hank from Breaking Bad, but right now it also aligns with Howard from Better Call Saul. Just as much, without spoiling that.
I'm not crazy.
But what do you think? Do you think he's gonna die? How do you think the season will end? And who do you think the Ripper actually is? Again, he could very easily be a new character. That was always a given. But let me know what you think down below. If you enjoyed this video, go and check out my Better Call Saul iceberg. It's not just about Better Call Saul, it covers the overall Breaking Bad universe. It's more of a sequel to my Breaking Bad iceberg, and it's weirdly my darkest video. Better Call Saul iceberg sounds so plain, but there's so much that goes on in that video. Go and enjoy that. And I just uploaded a new Walking Dead What If video. What if Tyrese survived? One of my favourite characters, so go and watch that. Also, I've been really active on my TikTok account lately, so make sure you come and follow me there. Link down below. Press the like button on the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe with the notification bell set to all so you never miss a video from me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.
Dude, quit staring at me. You're freaking me out.